Hi, this is Joanne Allenbaugh speaking here for Farms.com, and we're at the 2012 World Pork Expo, and I'm visiting with Dr. John Waddell. John, you're in a little bit different capacity when we talked last. Tell us about what you're doing now.
Right. So I've left practice after 30 years, and I'm with Boehringer Ingelheim, and I'm a professional services veterinarian for them.
And you spoke on a program yesterday that BI sponsored, and specifically in regard to PRRS and some of the things that you've seen happen on farms. Can you tell us about that?
Right. So, of course, you know, PRRS has been the nemesis of the swine industry for over 20 years now. And just recently we had another big study come out of Iowa State. Dr. Holtkamp just completed a really big study where he looked at the cost of PRRS, current cost of PRRS, and it costs the U.S. swine industry over $1 billion a year now, and over half of that is in the growing pig. And so yesterday we were addressing how PRRS interacts with other pathogens, other common respiratory diseases in growing pigs, and the cost that's involved with that.
Mm-hmm. And are we making progress on PRRS? What are you seeing happen?
Yeah, absolutely. The progress seems slow, especially if you're one of those unfortunate producers that happens to get hit, once every 4 years or so. And of course, PRRS has been so difficult to control because it changes so rapidly. But we are making progress. We, are expanding that body of knowledge. We are, applying new technologies and learning a lot about the way the virus transmits, how to control it, better use of the vaccines and preventative methods, better management to control the exchange of that PRRS virus from farm to farm. And so when you step back and look, from the 30,000 feet range, you can really see that we have made a lot of progress. But I feel for those producers and their vets when they get into the middle of a serious outbreak, because even today it can be devastating.
Mm-hmm. When you see PRRS in an operation and you're also seeing some other diseases impact the herd, like circovirus, what kind of recommendations can you make to producers as far as controlling disease in general?
Yeah, well, it's like approaching any other problem. You got to break it down into small pieces. And Boehringer's developed what they call a 5-step program over the years to deal with PRRS, but it applies really well to other diseases and really any problem that we face on a regular basis. They call it the 5-step program. And so the first step is to set your goals and expectations for either your farm or your system. Maybe if it's just a barn at a barn level. Then the next thing you need to know is the current status of that barn. So in this case, you'd go in and do diagnostics to find out what other diseases are affecting those pigs in that population. The next one is to know your constraints. So can you empty the barn? Can you run it all in, all out? Or is it continuous flow, and just is it impossible to break that? And so that might be one example of a constraint that you need to know. And then once you know the constraints, your goals, and what you're dealing with, then you can develop your solutions plans and then implement and monitor. And then the most important step, I always think, is the feedback. So if something doesn't work the way you thought it would, you don't meet your goals initially, then you can just tweak it, change it, and go through the steps again.
Mm-hmm. So it's basically finding out what you know and what you don't know, and then getting as many facts as you can so you can meet and identify the problem head on. Absolutely.
You can never have enough knowledge about your pigs or your system. You've always got to be looking for that, for those interactions and what else is going on there. And it all comes down to the bottom line, right? And so we choose solution tools. It might be vaccine, it might be treating with antimicrobials in certain situations, it might be changing pig flows. But we always like to do a return on an investment calculation. We're going to invest so much in this tool, it sure better pay back more than we invest. And the bottom line is profit to the producer. We want to everything's got to be paid for by a pound of pork in the end. Mm-hmm. And so you've got to, take away those profit robbers, apply the tools, and increase the profit and the bottom line.
Great. Well, Dr. Waddell, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.